I am Petya Raseva, a Stanford Lynn alumna, and you are with The Path to Power. Today, I am talking to Karine Rossignol, the CEO and the co-founder of Smart Immune, who was recently recognized by Forbes as one of the 50 over 50 most influential women across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. It is a great honor to welcome you, Karine.
Thank you very much, Petya. Very nice to have the opportunity to participate to this series, and honor to be there.
Thank you. Karine, for the curious ones, would you give us a brief overview of your career path?
Sure. So I've got, maybe the easiest is to begin with my training. I've got a double training. I'm a PharmD, but I've done also a business school, HEC in France, and I began my career with the cosmetic industry, and I absolutely loved it. Chanel, Guerlain, L'Oréal in France, in Paris, in the US, in the UK. And I was in charge of developing new product, and in the selective cosmetic industry. It's a wonderful world where you work with perfumers and talented artists and do some communications. So I did it during nearly 15 years. And then I guess that I did my life crisis, I would say, a little bit early at 36 years old. And I decided to move to biological research. And I was lucky enough to have met a medical professor of pediatric immunology, because I had been affected by a severe autoimmune disease when I was a teenager. And I asked him some advice because I was thinking that I could be a doctor again. So I was planning to initiate some medical studies at 36. And he told me that it was not reasonable at all, that I was already a mom and there was no way I could deal with the amount of work necessary and 3 little girls. And he proposed to me to join him, and he was putting together an institute dedicated to genetic diseases on the Necker Campus Hospital, which is one of the oldest pediatric hospital of the world. And because I had been treated there as a teenager, it was very meaningful to me, and I joined him. So I was a volunteer at first. There was 800 euro on bank account, and it was a wonderful adventure. We raised 183 million euro in 10 years, built a 20,000 square meter institute, recruited 450 scientists, nurses, engineers, physicians, and every single day I was learning something. So it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. And when I was there, I met two extraordinary women, Professor Marina Cavazzana and Dr. Isabelle André. And they have invented a way to reset the immune system with a new white cell type. And because I was also in charge of the fundraising of the institute back this time, I always told them that it was great and they should put together a company to bring quickly this innovation to the patient. And when they have been ready, they came to me and proposed to me to join them. And there we go. We created Smart Immune basically 7 years ago. I joined the company full-time 4 years ago. We are in clinic. The clinical data point in the right direction. And you can imagine for a former patient that I have been, what it means when you see the data and you can see that the little 3 months baby you have treated is actually cured. It's going to have a normal life, a life. It's very meaningful to me. So
You're
just to give
doing,
you a sense of a kind of, chaotic somehow journey.
I think you're doing a great job at Smart Immune. This is a company that is using biotech and developing T cells therapies to help patients with devastating diseases.
Indeed. So actually, the innovations we bring to patients have been put together by those two amazing women, Isabelle André and Marina Cavazzano. And you can compare them actually to mini James Bond. I'm going to be more clear here. The T cells are the cells in charge of killing all the enemy of the bodies, which are inside other cells. So it could be pathogen, virus, fungus, but also malignancies. So you can just not live without T cells. The best example are bubble babies. They have genetic mutation, which translates into the impossibility for the body to generate those T cells. And if those babies don't benefit from an immune reset, what we call a bone marrow transplantation, within their first year of life, unfortunately, they die. So those T cells are maybe the cells of the body you can absolutely not live without. They're crucial. Now, if you are born with an inherited immune diseases and your body is not able to produce them, you don't have any other choice than getting through this immune reset with bone marrow transplantation. But in that case, you need to get the cells from a compatible donor, your father, your mother. We're going to take the blood stem cells and wait that the patient body educate those cells, and it's very long. It's 18 very long months. And when you do that, during those 18 months, the patient is at risk of infections, at risk of relapses when it's about cancer. And there's still, today, despite all the progress we have made, 38% of mortality of 3 years when you have to undergo bone marrow transplantation. Actually, one of the PI we have in New York at MSKCC told us, and it just makes me smile, but it's also quite symptomatic on the fact that this is a very last chance treatment. He told me, Karine, you want to meet me as a friend. You don't want to meet me as a doctor. So basically what we have invented, what Marina and Isabella have invented, is a way to accelerate this T-cell differentiation and education within the patient body. So we do in 7 days what the bone marrow does in 15 months. And then we can infuse those cells to the patient, it go in the blood, and then in the blood it go to the thymus. I'm sure you never heard, but the thymus, it's a little lymphoid organ which is just here, above the heart. And it's an incredible boot camp. It does educate those T-cell progenitors to be functional T cells, i.e. to recognize the healthy cells, and you don't want to touch them. That's what we call the self. And if you touch them, that's autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis or lupus. And to recognize the cells which have something abnormal inside. So in that case, they recognize it and expand and just destroy all what is viral infected cells, fungus infected cells, malignant cells. And that's the reason why you, me, I hope a lot of people around the screen have a normal life, because you have, this fighting power, those T cells circulating in your body who just kill all the cells who develop malignancies. And somehow cancer is part of life. Even a baby has malignant cells circulating. You don't develop cancer because you have this fighting force killing the malignant cells so that you don't develop a cancer. But if you are missing them, that's where you are in danger. So being able to reset the immune system and get back a new functional T-cell compartment in a matter of weeks is a huge game changer for all those patients. And there is more than 200,000 patient concern, I would say US, Europe, and of course you can double this population if you take the whole world.
Karine, you recently received an investment from the Bill and Melinda Gates Investment Fund. You raised 15 million euro investment from the European Investment Council. You have a very successful corporate career in Lancome, corporate career in Chanel and L'Oréal Paris. You built from scratch the Genetic Research Institute, and now you're the CEO of Smart Immune. Looking back, what do you consider has been critical in your path to power?
I would say that it would be serendipity. I've been lucky to meet extraordinary people. I've been lucky also to get, sick in my childhood, who just learned me how to fight and how to see always the glass half full and not half empty. I've been really lucky to meet amazing people, inspiring figures, and be loved enough to feel comfortable to take risk. And I think that if you follow your instinct, if you fight hard for what you believe is right, you find your path, whatever the life is. If I have been said when I was in pharmaceutical studies at the university that I would put together biotech, I will never believed it, because I was fascinated by the cosmetic industry back then. And I was dreaming of Chanel and Guerlain, and I was not thinking that one day I could create, a biotech company to reset the T-cell compartment with cell therapy, which are totally groundbreaking. So life is strange, somehow, really strange.
Yes, and it can bring us to surprising places.
And it's amazing, meaning that very often when I meet some student and they ask me, what is your advice? I would say, trust your gut, trust your instinct, just try. Worst case scenario is going to work. Life is long, take risk. You can fail, doesn't matter. I love actually the Beckett sentence, ever try, ever fail again, fail better. You need to try, impose your chance. And maybe not, I would say, ask too much question when you are young. You need to discover who you are. And you can be different at different time of your life. I absolutely love the cosmetic industry. I spent, I had a passion for what I've done. And if you had to ask me, would you like to go back again? I would say no, because I'm a different person now. And I guess that I must fulfill now what I'm doing by, bringing new therapy to patients who are in need of a treatment, then inventing new successful product. But I have really enjoyed all what I've done. You can do everything, and it's amazing as far as you do it with passion.
And Karine, you had a long and very successful corporate career in the cosmetic industry. What changed when you became an entrepreneur?
Wow, lots. Nothing to see. Actually, in France, there is a poet we call La Fontaine, who was, back from the 17th century. And he has what we call a fable. It's like a story for children. And there is one of the story who is explaining the difference between, it's a conversation between a wolf and a dog. and the wolf is not fat, the dog is fat, and they discuss together. And the dog said to the wolf, "You should come with me because I've got free food, and I've got a warm place to sleep, and it's great. And you are so thin, and you seem to be so unhappy." And then the wolf say, "Oh yes, why not?" And they go together and they walk. But during the walk, the wolf look at the dog and look at his neck and say, "Oh, what is here on your neck? What, you miss hair here. What the reason why?" And the dog explained, "But I'm not free. I've got, I've got a link so that I cannot go away." And then the wolf just say, "Okay, you know what? I'm not going to go with you because I prefer to be thin. I prefer to be hungry, but I want to be free." I guess that's the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. If that does make sense.
Yes. Is it scary?
Sometimes, but it's also exciting. But to me, I've been very lucky because I had been a patient myself. So I know what it is to do chemotherapy. I know what it is to see your body transformed by the treatment. So when Isabelle and Marina proposed to me to join first, I knew them and they were really dear friends, meaning I knew we were totally aligned on the value. So it was a human adventure. But I knew also that it was a kind of personal appointment that I couldn't miss. And I was actually back this time working with Jean-Pierre Meillas and Françoise Bettencourt, and they are an amazing family and couple, really. I've got a lot of admiration and respect for them. And I came to see Jean-Pierre and ask him, because they did hire me 3 years before to put together a foundation on hearing and an institute dedicated to hearing research. And I told to Jean-Pierre, don't be angry at me. I will quit and I will go full time for this, startup, because it's a personal thing I cannot miss. And now that the institute were, built, deliver, open, everything was up and running, I could have stayed there. I was, comfortable, working with amazing people, very well paid, but I divide my salary by half. But it was to be, in totally aligned with who I am and my story. It was like an evidence I couldn't do otherwise. But it was scary, yes. My friend at the business school told me, "Hey, you're just mad. You're over 50. You cannot do that anymore."
I love people who just tell us what we cannot do.
Yeah. And I love also to say, just try. Worst case scenario is going to work, but try. You can fail, doesn't matter. Try. You have no excuse not to try.
If you don't try, it will surely not happen, correct?
Of course. And what is great is when you fail, you meet some other people. And what you were thinking was a failure is not a failure at the end of the day, because you meet this amazing person who just changed your total, journey. So always be confident on what's going to be next and make something about it. That would be my trust yourself. Enjoy life. It's short and it's fragile.
Thank you, Karine. And a couple of months ago, you were recognized by Forbes as one of the 50 most influential women across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. What does it mean to you?
I was so surprised. I was even thinking it was a mistake, to be honest with you. It means a lot, of course. It's a chance also to meet some other amazing women. And I'm very excited to go to Abu Dhabi next week to meet the other recipient of this prize and list, because I'm sure I'm gonna learn so much by listening to them, that it's an amazing chance, of course. And I guess that I'm also a mother of 3 young women, 25, 24, and 20 years old. And they have seen me work like hell, and sometimes they were wondering whether I was right to work that hard. And it's also, I guess, a good demonstration to show that when you passionately want something and you fight for it, somehow you get always something about it. Or with it. Sorry for my English.
Just as a side note, actually, the ladies did not know that they got in the list. You didn't know you were nominated, and you discovered your name just
Yeah,
seeing it, right?
it's I trust you, but why? Because there are, you know, as women, you have always the feeling that you don't deserve really what's happening to you, that there's going to be a light, just, point at you and say, hey, you're not the right place, go away. And finally, maybe not. So, yes, it does mean a lot, and it's a great chance. And I know I'm very lucky and thankful for getting the opportunity to meet the other women.
And we are also proud of you and wish you a lot of luck, Karine, at the meeting in Abu Dhabi and also with Smart Union. Great things are to come.
Thank you very much, Petya. It has been a pleasure to exchange with you, and very sincerely excited and happy if this series of stories and conversation can help some young women to take the plunge and get them courageous enough to become who they really are and do what they really want to do.
Thank you very much, Karine, for this conversation on my behalf and on behalf of my classmates at the Stanford Lead.
Thank you very much, Pitya.